Captain Rex piloted the escape pod through hyperspace while Ahsoka was still unconscious. "Hang in there, Ahsoka," he said to himself, looking towards her. Then suddenly, the pod exited hyperspace and began to malfunction. He turned his attention back towards space. What the heck is going on? He soon noticed a massive asteroid field ahead, and he was zooming right for it. Rex grabbed the wheel and attempted to steer the damaged pod through the massive clusters of space rock. The thousands of asteroids crashed and crumbled upon each other, nearly destroying the vessel. Luckily, after a few tense minutes of impressive maneuvers, he managed to escape in one piece. Rex slouched back in his seat and took a second to regain his thoughts. He then stood to his feet and looked at the pod's command console to discover that the pod's fuel assembly was damaged from Maul's attack. You have got to be kidding me," he said with defeat, realizing that the ship's engines can no longer run, which ultimately means he and Ahsoka are lost in space. Rex took a deep breath and looked over to his unconscious friend. "I'm sorry, Ahsoka. I tried to save you," he said with sorrow. Although he knew she couldn't hear him, there was a part of him that just wanted to be honest with himself. He studied her orange skin and soft lips. She was beautiful. Ahsoka had been a friend of Rex's for so long, but due to her obligations with the Jedi Order and his own occupation, he never got the chance to tell her how he truly felt about her. And since Rex would never admit it to her face, and this may be their remaining days together, he decided to tell her. "Ahsoka, I know you can't hear me," Rex said, sitting back down in his chair, "but I care so much about you. And I know you'd feel the same about me if you were allowed to." He leaned forward, keeping his eyes locked on Tano. "I know it's not our place to have feelings for each other, but Ahsoka, I love you." He looked at the floor, absorbing his own words. Then suddenly,
"Rex?"
Ahsoka said, rubbing her head.
"What happened?"
Rex was caught off guard. "Ahsoka, hi, I'm glad to see you're not dead." He took a second to realize what he had just said. He was just so startled by Tano's consciousness that he wasn't expecting that at the moment, so he panicked. She raised an eyebrow, confused.
"Yeah, me too."
Ahsoka stood to her feet and walked to the window.
"What's going on?"
Rex didn't know how much she had heard him say. What do you all remember?"
"The last thing I remember was seeing a flash of green light, and then Maul," she said, looking to Rex. "Where's Voss?"
Rex was relieved to discover she didn't hear what he had just said to her a few moments ago, but that brief relief quickly turned to dismay upon the current situation. He stayed back to give us time to escape. Ahsoka was visibly melancholy.
"What about the holocron?"
"Maul has it." She rolled her eyes.
"Oh, great. Next you're gonna tell me we're stuck in space."
"Well," Rex said, not wanting to reveal the truth to her. She sat down on the nearby chair and looked down in disappointment.
"What have I done?"
Rex looked to her. "Ahsoka, this is not your fault. The pod was damaged by Maul. Besides, while the engines are out, we still have enough power to keep our beacon up. Someone will find us."
"I'm not talking about the ship, Rex. I'm talking about Maul,"
she said, holding back her tears. "Maul?" he questioned, confused. "Ahsoka, that's crazy. How could you know that monster had control of a massive space station?"
"I didn't know about the station, but I knew about Maul."
"What?" Rex said, standing to his feet. "No, that's impossible. I read the reports, Ahsoka. You killed him on Mandalore. His body was obliterated by a bombing run."
"No, Rex, I didn't,"
she said, looking to him, unable to hold back her tears. "But Ahsoka, what are you saying?" She took a deep breath and searched her memories for the day.
"After I defeated Maul, he told me that Anakin was going to turn to the dark side, and that the Dark Lord of the Sith was already in control of the Republic. He reached his hand out and asked me to join him."
"And did you?"
"No, of course not,"
she said, standing to her feet.
"I wanted to capture him, but there was something in me that just told me to trust him."
"Trust Maul?"
I know. But he ended up being right all along. We left Mandalore together because he said that we could defeat the Dark Lord with an army of our own. So I falsely reported his death and headed with him to Cato Neimoidia. There, I lost track of him and discovered Master Plo Koon was in trouble."
"Ahsoka, how could you? He's a monster," Rex said, shocked beyond belief. "Cato Neimoidia was one of the heads of the Separatists. No wonder Maul has his own droid army. He took command after Skywalker slayed the other Separatist leaders and killed Palpatine."
"I know, Rex,"
she said.
"I'm the reason for this. All of this. You called Maul the monster, but I'm the real monster."
Out of nowhere, a massive light shined through the ship's window. The light was so bright, it blinded Rex and Ahsoka for a moment. "Oh no," Rex said, realizing the blinding light belonged to a massive ship. "Maul found us." The light came closer and closer as Rex and Ahsoka scrambled for a way to defend themselves.
"Are you sure there's no power left?"
Ahsoka questioned.
"We're a sitting womp rat out here."
Rex wanted to do something, but as the mysterious ship came closer and closer, he realized there was nothing they could do but prepare for death. Ahsoka, we lost. The pod began to get pulled in by the larger ship's tractor beam. Tano tried the pod's activation switches, but to no avail.
We can't just give up, Rex. We just can't.
Rex grabbed the Jedi's hand and looked her in the eyes. Look at me, Ahsoka. Look at me. She began to calm herself as he spoke. Maul got us. He got us. But if we all to die, just know that I don't blame you. The pod was pulled on board by the ship.
Thank you, Rex,
She said, gently sliding her hand from the trooper's grip.
but I don't plan on dying today.
She grabbed her lightsabers as the pod's doors began to be ripped open from the outside. Rex wanted to tell Ahsoka he loved her, but he realized if it were to be the end of their lives anyways, expressing his feelings wouldn't matter for much longer. Rex placed his helmet on his head and wielded his blasters. The doors were just seconds from being ripped open. Rex looked over to Tano one last time. Ahsoka.
Why don't you just save it for after we escape this mess?
She said with a smile.
It's been an honor, Captain.
The doors slammed open, sending a cloud of dust within the pod. Rex and Ahsoka prepared for battle. A battle they knew they couldn't win. But even if they knew they couldn't win, they were going to give Maul and his clanker horde one hell of a fight. Then, suddenly, they heard a familiar voice. Easy, you two. From the dust of the door's destruction, walked in the former Commander Cody. Well, who's saving who now? Cody. You're alive. But how? Rex said with relief. Before Cody could respond, another voice was heard. We were lucky. From behind Cody walked Supreme Chancellor Bail Organa. Now come along. We have much to discuss. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the conversation part of this video. I have a couple questions here I'm going to be answering, but before I begin, I just want to state that if you're not up for the conversation part of the video, you don't care about it, you can click away now. So, with that said, let us begin. Alright, so our first question is from iTalkStuff3000. He says, where is C-3PO and R2-D2? So, as far as the story element goes, they're kind of just there. They're not really dead. They're just kind of in the background. We just don't see them. It's kind of how they are like in, you know, the movies. Maybe I'll write like a significant part for one of them or both of them. But for right now, think of them there. You know, they're there in certain chapters. They're just not really taking precedence over the actual story. So, there's the answer for that. Next one is from Darth Prime, and he says, Han has a hat keychain. Is that supposed to be a reference to Indiana Jones since they're played by the same actor? Yeah. So, I just wanted to throw a little Easter egg in the last video if you guys want to check it out. When it shows a picture of Han, I actually gave him a little hat keychain. I thought it'd be funny to kind of add in there because not everyone noticed. In fact, Darth Prime's the only person I saw that noticed. So there you go. Cool little fun fact for you. I actually hide Easter eggs in all my videos, but this is like the first time someone actually caught one. So that's pretty cool. Okay, moving on. Next one we have Thomas Fisher, and he says, where is the Erso family? Okay, so this is one of those things that go into my previous story. So when I was writing the previous story, or the first... what if the Jedi Council survived Order 66, and then the sequel series to that, which was chapters 1 through 6 of the original What If Order 66 failed, that was before Rogue One was actually released that I started that story. So Rogue One kind of had to take a back seat as far as, you know, the elements and stuff. Now with these newer chapters, I'm kind of going back and retconning certain points so they all kind of make sense. As you guys can probably tell from this chapter, I had to kind of go back and explain how Ahsoka got to the point that we see her in What If the Jedi Council Survived Order 66. Because if you guys remember from the Clone Wars, you know, that is now explained. But back then, when I first started the story, it wasn't. So I kind of have to just do some backflips here and there, you know what I mean? Do some good old-fashioned George Lucas retconning and just kind of explain certain things so it all adds up in the end. So... yeah. All right, next one is from Garrett Gardner, and he says, will you add Cal Kestes into the story? So the thing about Cal is that, like I just previously mentioned, Cal did not exist when I started the story out. However, if you look at the elements that go into the rest of my story, like for instance, if you were on the Jedi Council and you don't actually get to see the characters die in canon, you were technically alive. So, Cal, we know, did survive Order 66. So... he could still be alive. Maybe he will show up at some point in the story. I guess we'll just have to keep an eye out, you know, because, you know, Kanan survived Order 66. He's here. Ahsoka survived. She's here. So, yeah, maybe he'll make an appearance. Maybe he won't. guess you'll just have to keep on watching. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Don't forget those notifications. Apparently, YouTube's algorithm needs those notifications now, or you're not going to get all my videos. Kind of annoying, but that's how it goes. So for our second last question, this one's kind of a long one, and this one's from Austin Higgins. And he says, after you get to 15 chapters and it ends, can you do this in the same universe in the sequel era? Like, Luke is kind of a different character, so would he help Rey differently? P.S. I don't know what chapter you said you only wrote 15 chapters. Okay, so a couple episodes ago in the conversation part, I stated that I've written 15 chapters, or at least I have 15 chapters outlined. And every week I kind of write a new element that kind of adds to the story. And I've now gotten to the point where I'm actually at 16 chapters now, because I wanted to add another chapter that you're going to be seeing very soon to kind of really flesh out a certain character's point of view on the whole situation. So as we approach the conclusion of the story, if I feel that I want to add more character elements, add more character development, just add certain points into the story to kind of make it feel more cohesive near the end, then I'll add more chapters. But for right now, I've expanded it to 16 chapters, and that's what I'm thinking is going to be the best. But like I said, if I feel like it makes more sense to throw another one in there, another chapter or 2 or even 3 or maybe even 4, then I will do that. But I'm going to try to not make the story last too long, because I don't like when stories just kind of ramble on and keep on going and keep on going. So I want the story to, hit hard, keep on hitting the entire time, and then finish amazing. And that's what I try to do with my stories. So there you go. Now, as far as a sequel series to this story, I guess I could do one if people wanted to see that. I did that on purpose to kind of allow us to have Luke and Leia with this Order 66, what if Order 66 failed? So I could do that. If you guys want to see it, let me know in the comments below. If I get enough people wanting to see a sequel series to this, then yeah, I'll definitely do one. All right, and for our last one, this one is from Marine Battleships 1. He says, wait, Shaak Ti and Solo aren't gonna get together, are they? Okay, so Han, of course, being a ladies' man, he's looking at Shaak. She's a little older than him, of course, but in his mind, he's thinking, she's pretty good looking. You know what I mean? She's a good looking alien, whatever. And then she's like, he's a handsome younger man, but I'm also a Jedi. Not necessarily wanting to, do stuff with him. A thing about it is we can look at people and recognize if they're good looking and not want to do stuff with them. And that's kind of what's going on between here. So Solo's not exactly not wanting to do stuff with her, but he's kind of got a more important mission in his head. And the development of his character is going to kind of be more mature. Like he's trying to just be more mature because of the different circumstances in this universe compared to the actual original trilogy. As we see, he's still pretty immature for his age, but while the characters do, find each other good looking, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have a relationship. So I tried to write it more as if they're not going to have like a will they, won't they, or they're actually going to get together. I want it to be more of like a, hey, we have a common goal. We both know that we're both good looking, but, we also aren't really interested in each other. So we're just going to have to focus on our goal. So that's how I kind of wrote that. If it came off kind of like they're trying to get together, that was not my intention, but yeah, I guess I might have missed the mark there, so apologize for that. But there you go, guys. That has been all the questions for this conversation part. I cut down the questions. Before I used to do maybe 10. I cut it down a little more to kind of save on space and time here. If you guys have any future questions for the next video's conversation, let me know in the comments below here, and if I use it, I'll give you a shout out in the video just like I did with the rest of these people. So thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe. Like I said, turn on those notifications, guys. It really helps me out. That's the YouTube algorithm. They don't share your videos. They don't share my videos to you unless you actually turn on the notifications for some reason. So please do that. I would be eternally grateful. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you later. Peace.